And if you look at the meetings, if you are looking forward to the marriage, you also have to discuss your issues in the boardroom, not in the bedroom. So these are the two different things that a person has to consider. So now she says to me, as I'm with him, he told me that if I don't pitch up, he will go out elsewhere and look for other ladies. Then I say to her, but do you think you're going to keep this man through sex? Because it's something that will definitely kill you. Or perhaps like looking at it as a woman, looking at that you are always involved in those sexual activities. One also have to consider your health today. So we can say you will never keep a relationship through your body. There is no way that it can work that way. So that is part of the things why people they are in a relationship for wrong reasons. And if you are looking at mostly, if you look at it for women, once they reveal their nakedness to a man, they start to love more. But when it comes to men, mostly they tend to disconnect because they were not ready to be in that relationship. Now, if you consider the issue of Amnon and Tamar, after he had slept with her, he hated her so badly. So all these kind of situations, when you look at them, and from the experiences that I've spoke with a number of people, mostly men, when after they see the nakedness of a woman, from there they tend to lose interest. That's the reality of it.
So and I would like now somebody who is not married, who has no experience, how person come out to advise young people on issues of marriage if he himself is not yet married. So why have you decided to work in that of advising people on issues of marriage, yet you're not married? What is really motivating you, or what is this thing that is giving you a push that there is a problem with marriage that has to be addressed, or something that is being ignored in marriages?
Thank you for such a very wonderful question. What I can say first, coaches never play. If you can look at a coach, he's looking at the field and the soccer players are there in the field, they're doing all the runs, they're doing all the things, but he is just in there supervising and looking at everything that is happening in there. But he is able to coach the team up until it reaches a stage when it can win. Firstly, I'm being inspired. God is the first motivator and inspiration. And also as a child growing up and the experiences which I had, they are the ones which motivated me to love to talk about marriage, because now as we look at the society, it is full of misery and sorrow, and it is traveling in pain. Why is it so? It is because the structure, or I can say the foundation, has not been planted very well. So as a child growing up, my parents were not there at home. They were out looking for greener pasture so that they can help and get some funds so that they can come and feed us so that we can grow up as well taken care of kids. So as it was happening at that moment, I was living in the countryside, and there I was with my granny and my other cousins. So as we were there were a lot of things happening. And if you have to see your cousins, like they are receiving some gifts, or perhaps the father has come from the city, and sometimes there is that kind of thing of segregation in the family. You look at that, you are all kids in there, and others, because they've got their parents around there, and then they come, they will bring them something nice, and for you, you'll be looking from a distance, someone is eating bananas or pears. It's something that will have lasted maybe a month ago or 3 months ago. So that kind of a thing, it used to be very painful. And also, when it comes to look at, there were times when we were celebrating Christmas, and the children, others, they've already received their clothing before even the month end of December, of November, that they are already having their clothing, and yourself don't have anything. Now you look at it, that it was something that's not nice. And also the children, others, they will be always teasing you, like, where are your parents? They cannot buy you this and that. So as I was looking at all that, it was something that was a trauma, but at the same time, it was also opening up my intellect so that I can see and understand what does it mean to have a family. So in that time, I wished that I could have my parents there with me up until I started living with my parents. I think that was when I finished my grade 7, my primary level. Then at the time when I was starting my high school level, I was with them. And the other thing, as I was at school, I was studying sociology. So my wish was I wanted to be a psychologist. So things like those, And when it comes to theology, you are looking at the society, how is the well-being of it and the things which are affecting the society, and mainly looking at the families. So looking at that, I was mainly motivated into it. And the other thing, when I look at other parents, or I can say other couples, when they even moving, or maybe they're going to the shops, you look at that, the wife is behind and then the husband is in front, and they're like, come, let's move, let's go, let's go. So as I look at that, it's not something which I admire, or it's something that I would love to find myself in that category. So as a young man who is aspiring and contemplating to be married one of the days, so it's something that I want to be a better person. I want to make change. I don't have to follow in the footsteps of how other people they failed. Each and every parent, they are to be there to care for their children. But if they are not there, the children, they tend to suffer and to look at the segregation from other children. So mainly that is where I get my inspiration, and also loving to read more books when it comes to marriage and relationships. I love to research more and more. And the last example that I would love to say, there was a time one lady, she was asking me like, are you married? Then I say to her, why do you ask me that kind of a question? And then she is like, but do you have children? Then I told her, no, I don't have children. Then she's like, don't you know that the kids are going to finish in heaven? Then I laughed, like, then she says like, but I always follow your content. You're always like a relationship coach. Why are you getting this? So I told her, it is God first, and also there is a wonderful book by Adventist Home. It is a very nice, wonderful book. So as I started that book, it opens my intellect more and more. So basically, in short, that's what I can say. I get more of my inspiration. Thank you for that question.
Wow, that is quite inspiring. You know, issues when it comes to love, we normally see there is I even saw an image in the course of this week. There is a boy and a girl. They decided to take poison just because their parents do not acknowledge their love. Love is something that's, you know, at times when love comes and it gets to a point whereby somebody is even ready to take his or her life because of someone. I don't know if that is really love, but I'm still when I saw that picture, it was like, these people, do they really know, or what have they known what really love is all about? So there is another thing that is a point of concern, whereby you find that when people get into relationship, they have very high expectations. They go there, people are happy at the beginning. People are connected. And then in the long run, you find that now the cracks are being formed and the relationship starts moving in another direction. And in the long run, people depart. So I don't know what brings this. I don't know whether people do open much to their partners, or they open up to the people they have gotten. That is why you find the relationship in the long run, it breaks. So what experience, or what can you say about that? When I enter into a relationship with very high expectations and I feel that this is the man that is going to make me happy, and then in the long run, you find that people start disconnecting. So I don't know what comes or what brings about that. What can you say about that?
Wonderful. That's a very great question, and that is affecting most of the people, and most of the people, they are confused when it comes to that question. Firstly, men, they are hunters. So as a hunter, you have to make sure that you hunt for the animal that you want to catch, or either, let's say you are in the field, you are looking for an animal, you have to sweat a little bit so that you can catch it. But if you just find it sleeping in there, it's easy to get, or it just comes on its own, it will be easier to get it, but at the same time, you won't value it much. So it is the same when it comes to love. So sometimes you don't need to be an open person in which you just allow everything to just move just like that. So what I can say is, as a man, you have to hunt. And also the prey that you are hunting, also it should not just be easy just to get it, because something that comes easy, it is easy for it to go. And the other thing which I have looked, it is of people, they tend to relax because you have already got what you wanted. You think that everything now is fine. But love, firstly, let's first define love. Love is not a feeling. It's not something that you are driven, but it is a principle, something that is a choice that you make. So when you look at the stars, you look at them, the kind of an attitude that you look at them, it will also draw you to the conclusion whether to like them or to hate them. So in life, there are those kind of people that you just look at them once and then you just fall in love with them. And then there are those that you look at them once, you don't love them. Why is it so? So love is none other than a principle. So as you make it a principle to say that I'm going to love this person, definitely you have to. So we all have got a choice. I would just love to give an example of Joshua. If we look at the time of Joshua as he called out the children of Israel, in the time when he was saying that his time is coming to an end, Joshua chapter 24, verse 15, he calls them and he says to them, remember of the good things of what God has done for you. But today, choose ye this day whom you shall serve. So also love is none other than a choice. It's something that you choose. So if you choose to love a person, you have to understand that having that person, it comes with a lot of things. So if she was facing things like depression or she had some other previous things that have happened to her, so you have to accept that person as he is or as she is. But if you want the person and then at the second first also as you go further, you want to change that person to be what you want that person to be, it's not going to work because those people, they will tend to disconnect because they are doing something which they are not comfortable about doing. And also looking at a garden. If we have got a garden, you look at that, you have got nice roses in there. When you come to look at them, you'll find that so, even how beautiful can it look, but you find that there will be some thorns in there. So when you come to look at this girl or this the sister or a brother, after some time you realize these thorns. How are you going to react as you find that? So firstly, you have to be prepared mentally to know that I am going to face difficulties, but along the way, I am going to stick with my person that I've chosen. So now also, if we look at the garden that is full of roses, if you don't put more effort, the weeds are going to come in. And as the weeds will come in, it will be very hard for you to get rid of them. So when you have invested in the relationship, you have started it, you have to make sure that you cultivate it. And as you cultivate it, you have to water it, you have to put manure, you have to do all those kind of things. But if you neglect, then also that love will wither and die. So it is the same with love. And also when it comes to look at getting too busy, there is something that when people, they tend to get too busy for nothing. Yes, in this world, we are, as we are in search of the greener pastures, we want to have good and beautiful lives. But also at the same time, we should not create a gap in between the two. So I would love to give an example of Uriah. We know about the experience of him and David and Bathsheba. So as he was at one time, he was mainly focused at work. And as he was mainly focused at work, now David, he was moving around and then he saw this woman passing and he called for her and he brought that woman in. And we know what happened and he slept with her. After that, he also sent a message to that to say that Uriah should be called, should be summoned to come to where he was. So as Uriah came, he tried by all means and he gave him drink. And after he gave him drink to drink, then he said to him, now go to your house. Because he wanted to cover his sin. Firstly, now he looks at that this woman that he has slept with, he has defiled her and he has impregnated her. So now how is he going to solve this? So he thought of, let me rather call the husband so that he can go in there. And if you'll go in there, I know he's going to lay with his wife. And then from there, the wife will tell the news that she's pregnant. He's going to accept because he was there. But now when Uriah came, now we look at his example, I can say he did not value his family so much. So I would love to share the slide in here in just shortly. So now we are looking at Uriah. He got too much busy for his family. So after David called him, now we look at the book of 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 8 to 9. It says that, and David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and they followed him a mess of meat from the king. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. So this is what Uriah did. He did not go to his house. He just slept at the door of the king's house. So that on its own, he did not have a good communication, or he did not have a good bond with his wife. And as a result, he thought it best just for him to sleep in there. So it is something that many people, they don't realize that in so doing, they are hating the families. And now sometimes you find that there are many business people, they have got all the riches that you can think of, and also their wives are not happy at home. You'll find that even the wives are now even sleeping with the gardener. Then you ask yourself, why? It is because that affection is not there. So it is something that people, they have to work on to make sure that they are always there for their partners, lest the devil will find a way to come in. And when the devil is there, it will be very hard to get rid of the devil. So that basically will be, that's the first example that I know of David. And also going further, also we are looking at going silent. There's something that is going silent. We can talk about stonewalling, silent treatment. And your partner often punishes you with their silence. They take off somewhere for a few hours, refusing to talk to you after a fight. So these are the kind of the things that kill the relationship, because you are looking at that maybe this person has hurt you in a way that you could not think of, and as it had happened, because you love and trust these people, now you tend to draw back, and as you tend to draw back, that will also harm the relationship, because the other party doesn't even want to talk to you. He or she will prefer to stay a week. Maybe you are blocked even on WhatsApp or on the phone calls or everywhere. You can't even get hold of the person. So that on its own, you should have a way on how you can resolve your issue. So if you are in a relationship and you see that happening, then you should know that you're going to have problems in the future if you see your partner doing like that. So as one of the things that a person has to consider before you go further. And also the other thing, we are talking about being critical and too much comparison. What do I mean by that? There are those kind of people who are always expecting the best from other parties, but themselves, they are not the best. So how can one anticipate the best when you himself is not the best? So being critical too much, it affects. And when it comes to criticisms, we should also have a way how we can do them. You don't attack the person, but you attack the problem. Most of the times, the wives or either the husbands, they always love to say, why can't you do this? Don't you see that Peter is doing that to his wife or is doing that to his girlfriend? So these are the kind of sayings which go around. And as a result, that person will feel so undermined to feel that you are comparing him to someone else, because we'll never be the same. We all have got different opportunities. We all have got different missions in this world, and we are not all hating in the same direction. So all these kind of things you also have to consider. So it's something that is a turn off to either a lady or to a husband. So that is part of the thing. And also the other reason why people disconnect is being in a relationship for wrong reasons. Being in a relationship for wrong reasons. Firstly, never get into a relationship if you are not thinking of it to be the one that will lead you to the marriage. So as long as you are not ready to be married, then therefore don't get into a relationship, because now you are hating the other party. So if we're talking about that, we're talking about lust. People, they always love to be with girlfriends or with boyfriends, but where is it taken to? We are talking about, as a person, there is no time for dating, but there is a time to court. You say that you are to be in a courtship. So in a courtship, you are advancing towards marriage. That is supposed to be the very first step that a person has to look on. Now, if we also look at lust, I would love to look at lust as something that is very bad, and I would love to share the screen here with me. Firstly, if we are looking at lust, it is something that has led to many marriages to break down because they did not marry for right reasons. First, if we look at the example of Amnon and Absalom and Tamar. So if we look at them, there was a time when Amnon was saved because he loved his sister. We know that David had many wives, and also Tamar was a sister to Absalom. And looking at Amnon, he was one of the favored sons of David. So now he loved his sister, and he also called his friend. His friend came in and asked him, "Why are you like this? What is wrong with you?" And then he told him that, "No, it's because I love my sister." And his friend, instead of advising him in a very wonderful way, he says to him, "Why can't you tell your father? Because I know your father loves you so much. Tell your father that you are sick and ask for Tamar so that she can come and bake something for you to eat." And then Amnon did so, and he came to the counsel from his friend, which was very evil. And then we find David coming in asking, "What is wrong with you?" And he says, "I'm sick. Can you please call for my sister to come and cook for me?" So then David sent Tamar to come and prepare some food for him. So as she came in, then now we find Amnon, he also, like the servants say, he takes them out and now he's left with her. And he says that, "I want to eat from your hand." And because he had more power than her, he overpowered her and he lay with her. But now there is something that is a very, when we look at that, after he lay with her, looking at the book of 2 Samuel chapter 13, verse 1 and 4, 11, 14 to 15. So if we look at verse 11 there. "And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her hand and said, 'Come lie with me, my sister.'" He recognized, he knows that that was his sister, but still he says, "Come lie with me." And also if we go further to verse 14, says that, "Howbeit he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that she hated wherewith he had hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. And Amnon said unto her, 'Arise, gone.' So after that, he did not love her anymore. So this is, we are looking at lust. So it is something that is a turn off to many of the relationships. So if you're in a relationship, you have to make sure that you are in a relationship so that you are going to go. If you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship knowing that I am going to get married from this relationship. That is supposed to be the goal. And also, I would love to give one example of, as I spoke of not cultivating. There was one brother who once came and he asked me, in fact, he says to me, like, I'm having some challenges, and he spoke up until he cried. So when I looked at that, I was asking myself, what's wrong? And then he told me, I'm having some issues with my wife. And it's something which I don't know why it's happening, but I always get people asking me, telling me about their problems that they're facing in relationships. That was even before I started venturing more deeper into this subject. So after then, I was also encouraged and also yet more zeal and longing to start to talk about marriage and relationship. So then he says to me, I'm having a problem with my wife, and I hear about the news that she is also seeing the manager there at work. And myself, I'm working night shifts. Most of the times I'm not at home. So when I come in the morning, she has already left for work. And also the child is already going to school. So they have got about 10 years that they've been together. But now there is that connection. There is this connection between them. So he says that even when I'm at work, I always leave my phone off because I don't even want to talk to her. What am I going to tell her? And also, even when I get home, I find that she has cooked the food, but I don't want to eat it. So I therefore leave it aside. I can't eat her food. So I said to him, in that way, you are destroying your marriage. Now, who is going to come and make your marriage work if yourself you are not putting much effort? So you need to cultivate and work for it. And then from there, he went and he bought airtime and he called his wife and he told me, like, my wife is very happy and excited because she always tried to call me, but my phone is always off. But after I called her, she was very happy. So in short, these are the reasons, which is why I think that they are the result of why people they disconnect in relationships.
Wow. That is quite interesting because I'm also learning some things. So I'm just caught with this point. You're saying fights. Fight is also another factor that brings disconnection. For example, maybe in a relationship, if you're with somebody, definitely you want the best for this person, and you have to advise the friend because according to you, feel that this is the person you are headed to with, and you find you advising that friend of yours, but in the long run, you find this person is like, this person is too much on me, and then the person goes aside. Not right to fight in a relationship. When people fight in a relationship, somebody once told me that if you're in a relationship where you people don't disagree, then there is something that is wrong there. Yes. A relationship should not just be smooth all the way. Yes, I don't know whether that is true or that person lied.
That is very true. Yeah. I agree to that.
So,
no, I was saying, if you look at a standing car, it doesn't experience any potholes. It will never have a problem of facing robots along the way because it's just standing, it's just stagnant. But now in a relationship, you have to have those kind of challenges. You have to fight, but not time and again. You have to fight, and those fights also, there should be a way how you can come to resolve them. If you can't resolve the fight, or you don't even want to talk about it, then also it is a red flag. They always talk about the red flag. So you have to also consider along those lines. When you're in a relationship, fights, they have to be there. And the fights, they are there to motivate or to mold you to be a better person, because you have to understand to say that my other part, she wants me to be like this. And I also want him to be like that. And also, as you are doing that, you should have a good way how you go about it. You don't attack the person, but you attack the problem. That is how you should go about it.
Okay. Well, that is good. I've loved that. So the next question that I think I can maybe ask you is that people enter into relationship with different reasons. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, people enter into relationship with different relationships with different reasons and intentions. And you find that in a relationship, there is one person. Now, for example, let me use you as a brother. Now, there is a lady you love somewhere so much, and the lady is not connected to you. You give all to this lady, but in your heart, you feel like what you're giving, you're not receiving back. So why do you think people decide to be in a relationship where they're not loved? Why do people decide to do that? They be in a relationship where they're not loved. They love genuinely, but the other person whom they love is not into them.
That's a very great question. And firstly, you have to look at that people, they marry for wrong reasons. Firstly, there are people who are marrying because of money, because they know that with that person, I'm going to have a good life, but they don't consider other things. So there is something which is the character development that you have to consider in the time when you're in a relationship. If you see that there is no character development, then you should also be warned and to understand that you are going to face some challenges in your relationship. So you have to consider that. So now if we are looking at that, people, there are some people just get married because of money. They're in a relationship because of money. There is something which they are receiving. But in that thing that they are receiving, it's also affecting them mentally. It's killing them. That is one of the reasons. Then the second reason, that will be culture. That will be culture. You look at that, the parents or either the relatives, they will come and say, hey, what's going on with you? Don't you see that your peers are now married? Why are you taking so much long? This is the time that you have to marry and you should be having kids already. So these are the kind of things that happen, and they push people to end up being in a relationship with the people that they didn't even love. Or perhaps the parents, they come, then they say, we have chosen you, so and so. So this is the right person for you. Check this person. I've got a friend. What happened to him? His auntie said to him, I have found the best woman for you. And he says, where did you find it? I don't know this person. And he says, okay, don't worry, I'm going to introduce you to that person. Then the uncle introduced him to the person, and himself, he didn't love that lady. And he told the uncle, saying that, no, I've seen, and I really appreciate that you've introduced me to the person, but we are not connecting. We're different people. So it will be a torture to myself or to her to be in a relationship with someone that I'm not intending to get married to. So it will be a waste of time. So we'd rather quit. Yeah, we'd rather give it quits than we leave it. Then the auntie was very upset. And also that affected even his relationship with his auntie up until he ended up even leaving the house because they were staying together. Then he ended up to go to have his own place because of that. So perhaps maybe the auntie, there are other things that he was looking that is going to benefit from there. But now, because the nephew is not willing to take that lead, so it was something which was a turn off. So we'll also find things like peer pressure, like you are seeing your friends, they are married, or maybe they will be showing you nice pictures, this and that. But at the same time, yourself, you are not ready. First, you have to be ready mentally. Mentally, you have to be ready. And then there comes like also to look at financial and other things and spiritually. So all those kind of things are the wonderful points you have to consider. And also to look at the thing of faith. If definitely you don't share the same faith, it will create some problems. Because let's say you are a Sabbath keeper and this one is a Sunday keeper. On Sabbath you want to be in church, and then on Sunday this one you want to be in church, and that will also be a turn off. So these are part of the things. So people, they just get married because of fame. They also want to be recognized. So people, the rich family, they want to be seen, to be known that no, I've got married to this. So these are the kind of things which are affecting. I would also love to give an example of Samson. When he looked at this lady, he went and he comes to his parents that I've seen the lady from, as I was going to look at the land from the Philistines, I've seen a lady from that side. So I want to marry this lady. So then the parents, they say to him, ain't there any other daughters that you can look from our brethren? How can you go for and circumcise the person? Why? But he says that, get me for her, for she pleaseth me well. So that is the one thing that he considers, that the lady pleaseth him well. And as a result, we know about his experience. And look at that, he was a judge for Israel for 20 years, but at the same time, he was having his unfaithful dealings along the way. And after now, he got his lady Delilah. We know what happened to him. And then she comes and she says to him, Samson, tell me, where are you getting all this strength? So she manipulated him. At first, he lied. And the second time, he lied again. So then she says, if you are doing this, it shows that you don't love me. Because this lady was in a relationship with him, not that she did really love him. No, she did not love him because she was being used by the Philistines so that she can gain something from these Philistines. And also at the same time, Samson was saying that she genuinely loves him. So they were in a relationship in that situation up until he ended up revealing the secret, and then his hair was cut off. And we look at that, she even tried also to pinch him so that she can see whether what is he going to do. Samson, here are the Philistines. And Samson, he was just there and he could not do anything. Then they came, they took him, and they even removed his eyes. So we know what happened to Samson, that he was in a relationship for wrong reasons. So being in a relationship for wrong reasons, that will be definitely a turn off, or that will affect you. So it is something that a person has to consider, not to be in a relationship for wrong reasons. I'll just give an example. Also, there is a friend of mine. So we worked together for some years, and then this time she was telling me about what she's facing with her girlfriend, with his boyfriend. So I asked her, why are you in a relationship with him? Do you want to marry him? Why are you in a relationship with him? And he says, I do love him, but his actions, they are not showing that he loves me. Then I say to her, why? What's going on? And then she tells me, like, we hardly talk. And he always wants me to come and visit him in his place. So I will have to go there for sleepovers. Every weekend I go there from work, I just go there. Then I say to him, okay, firstly, that is the wrong step that you have taken. And if already someone is receiving all the marital privileges, already that person will never value that much. And if you look at the meetings, if you are looking forward to the marriage, you also have to discuss your issues in the boardroom, not in the bedroom. So these are the two different things that a person has to consider. So now she says to me, as I'm with him, he told me that if I don't pitch up, he will go out elsewhere and look for other ladies. Then I say to him, but do you think you're going to keep this man through sex? Because it's something that will definitely kill you. Or perhaps like looking at it as a woman, looking at that you are always involved in those sexual activities. One also have to consider your health. You also have to look at that even it makes you to age faster. But for him, he is just playing, he's not ready. So you have to also look at that. It's not a good relationship for you to be. But since you have already started with him like that, you also have to put an end to these sleepovers. If he will love you, he will come for you because a man is a hunter. He has to look for you. And if he doesn't, then it means to say that there is nothing that that person will do. Even if you are married, definitely he will go out elsewhere. And she even says that even when we're at home, then I will come and then I cook everything and then he will be busy on his phone. He just wants me in the night. That's it. Then I say to her, that's not right for you. That's not right for you. And 3 months down the line, she told me like, in fact, I saw a status. She's like, I'm so happy. Then I'm like, what's happening? And then she says to me, I am single. Then I said to her, that's not the happy. I can say you are saying that you are happy, but at the same time, it's a way of you trying to prove yourself to your partner so that he can see that now you are happy without him. But this shows that you are happy. If you are happy, this is the kind of behavior that people show. Then she says, yeah, no, you are quite that's very true. Just that it's really still hating me. Now we are no more together. So this is who I am here today. So we can say you will never keep a relationship through your body. There is no way that it can work that way. So that is part of the things why people they are in a relationship for wrong reasons. And if you are looking at mostly, if you look at it for women, once they reveal their nakedness to a man, they start to love more. But when it comes to men, mostly they tend to disconnect because they were not ready to be in that relationship. Now, if you consider the issue of Amnon and Tamar, after he had slept with her, he hated her so badly. So all these kind of situations, when you look at them, and from the experiences that I've spoke with a number of people, mostly men, when after they see the nakedness of a woman, from there they tend to lose interest. That's the reality of it.
Wow. Wow. That is quite encouraging and interesting. I think my final question before we end this discussion, I know I'll invite you over and over again that you can share more and more. Because as you're speaking, I'm also trying to learn some things so that I can put my house in order.
Definitely.
Yeah, if there is the wrong thing that I was maybe doing, I have to go back and I now do do my plan and I restructure everything. Now, men, some people give even they support this with the Bible and say, look at Abraham, look at David. How many wives did they have? They had so meaning that us as men, we are allowed to have as many as we can. We can even have 20 if we can, if possible. Now, why? What can make a man? You're not married. I didn't want to talk about married people. I want to talk about these young boys, young guys still dating. So what can make a man have more than one lady in a relationship, like having 5 girls at the same, and he claims to be loving all of them and dating all of them? What is the reason behind that? Or maybe this person is trying to hunt as he's finding the right person within the 5 that he's having. What are your reasons? You as a man, you can maybe explain to us what you guys normally do. You can even spill the beans that we can also know.
Yes. Wonderful, great. So if you look at, you are holding one stone, but you are seeing that there are 3 birds there on the tree. You want to hit those birds, you are using one stone. Is it possible that you're going to catch them? There is a possibility that you even lose all of them in trying to catch those birds. So you can't be hit 3 birds or 5 birds using one stone. It's not possible. So now if you look at as people, we just have to be, we can't multitask relationship. There is no way that you can give your heart to that person and give that person. What are you going to be left with if you have given the heart to these 4 or 5 people? It's not possible. If you look at creation, when God created Adam, did he give him 2 Eves? No. He gave him only one Eve. So why do one want to have 3 Eves? Now, if also you evaluate looking at the experiences of Jacob, we know about the experience of Jacob that he worked at Laban's place so that he can get Rachel, but at the same time, then he was robbed and now he was given Leah. Now he's having 2 wives. Now there was a lot of competition between the 2 of them. Looking at that, the first one, she had managed to also to have children, and God opened up her womb. And then the other one, because she was loved more, God closed her home for some time. So that is something which was hating her. And this one, Leah thought that if I will give my husband many children, he's going to love me more. But also it did not do anything. And we come to look at now they're even competing, and they even give up their maid servants so that they can come and lay with their husband. And also when the wife, Rachel, she also had her own son, also she also gave the maid servant. Now there is too much competition, and even the children, they did not love each other very well. So these are part of the experiences that people they find themselves in. If now also looking at Joseph, looking at the experience that he had with his brothers, they didn't love him. Why? It is because the father loved him more because he was coming from his beloved wife more. So all the brothers, as they looked at that, they did not like it. And the father did not give enough love as compared to all of his children as they were coming from different mothers. So that marked also, I can say, that also created distance or separation amongst the children, all of them. We know what happened to him up until he was ended up being sold out so that they can have peace, so that the father will not have anyone to break about. So these are the part of the things. There is no way that a person be in a relationship with the 5 people and going to love them. It is impossible. You just have to be a person with one mind, because if you want all of them, definitely you will leave these people hate at the end of the day. But will you be happy to find that these people are crying for you at the back and now you aim to be happy? That is something that is going to haunt you, that you will find yourself in, that you will find yourself without even having happiness. There is no way like that to say that you are going to have many women. God gave Adam only one Eve. So you are supposed to have only one boyfriend or one girlfriend that you are looking forward to get married to. If it doesn't work, then you stop it, you pray about it, God will open up the way for you. That's the only way that can take you to the right person.
Amen. Amen. I think I've learned a lot. And I wish we could continue. But I think because of time, I will invite you over again so that we can discuss more and more. Because these issues of love, it has a lot of challenges. People go through hard things. Maybe they don't just come out to express or to share with people, but it is one of the toughest things that people normally face. And I think we need to also put God first in relationships. And my advice also in a relationship, I think they also have to learn the love language, because maybe if you misunderstand maybe somebody's love language, you might end up maybe hating this person or stopping the relationship when the relationship was meant to be. And the key thing, the most important thing, I think it is prayers. It's only God who can show us the best person, because with us, the human, with our eyes, we can think that the person is the right one. Remember when Samuel was told by God to go and anoint King David? When he saw the firstborn son, he said, according to him, he felt happy and he said, this must be the one.
This is the one.
And the moment he said that, the Lord told him that, you know what, the way you've seen him, I've already rejected him. So we just, may God give us that, the inner eyes, so that you can also know. So that when we don't see the courts, we don't see the cars, we don't see the big house, and you say, yes, I think this is the man that I want now to move with, or I want to start my relationship with. So what is your final, maybe your last statement as we end this for today?
The last statement will be, always behold and Jesus, may he be your only guide. And as you start in a relationship, ask yourself, will Jesus be happy with the relationship that I am in? or the conversations that you talk about. Ask yourself, if Jesus was sitting here, you are seeing him, he's sitting next to you, were you going to say all these things that you talk with the other party? So all these kind of things are things that we have to consider. Firstly, why am I in a relationship? If you are not ready for marriage or you are not dating for marriage, then you rather leave it. I've seen many people, I'll just give that one last example. I've got a friend, like we were attending together in church and everything was nice. And then she says to me, no, church boys, they are very boring. They don't take you out. They're not romantic. They don't give you money. They are broke. They are poor. They don't have this. But these ones out there, they give me everything which I need. So I say to him, for how long will you continue in that? And then she says, no, it's best, but when I'm done with my son, then I will come back to these ones who are in church because I know they are going to take care of me. Then I say to him, but who will be happy to have the damaged goods? Yourself, your character already it is affected. And as you come back, already you have got a change. And this person that is looking at you, how will he be happy? You are yourself, you are knowing that what you are doing is wrong, but at the same time, you want to have that acceptance. So if you have seen that you've been going wrong, make a return and say, I'm stopping here. I have to make things right going forward. That's the only way that can take you. Always take Jesus with you. That's the only way that can keep you safe and not having any challenges.
Or if you feel like you also have a story and you want to share with us, you can reach us so that we can invite you over, because everything is possible. Because a message shared, whatever you are going through, if you share it with other people, at least it can help somebody who might be going through the same challenge, and that person will also feel motivated. And by doing so, you will have saved a soul. I think may the Lord bless you until we meet next time.